So the total number of people in like the whole of the Yugoslav is about, let's say, give or take 20, 30 million. So that's how big Lagos is. So Serbia by themselves are like 5 million. Bosnia is like 3 to 4 million. Croatia is like 2 million. Montenegro is even like small. Yeah.
I'm dying to ask, what's racism like?
So funny enough, man.
I know some parts of Europe is not so bad.
Funny enough, like there's a big jungle fever out there. And when I mean jungle fever, it's like they're just happy to see you.
I remember that film.
Yeah.
She's got so it's like rare to see like black people there.
Yeah, it's very rare to see. I'm a married man now, but like, yeah, it was a madness.
Anyways, Japa Chronicles, Medici here. No, Isaac, sorry. We have our...
Yeah, all over the place this morning, you know. You don't chop.
I never chop. I swear. Yeah, and you guys are rushing. Rain beat me because they came to pick me up and they were not patient, so Rain beat me. Yeah, so...
Happy New Month.
Oh, friends. Yeah, it's August 1st today. Yeah.
Happy New Month,
It doesn't feel like it, Sha. Maybe because salary came since and I don't finish them, so... You know what is introducing me to new months is this salary, but I finished my salary, so it doesn't feel like a new month.
And when do you get paid? Like a week before the month end?
Please don't do this.
No. So I'll know how to be targeting him for drinks, you know.
No, I won't say that. But we get paid in good time.
You said before what happened?
No, before that 31st. 11:59 p.m. That's when alerts come. But now, no, obviously I'm kidding.
Yeah, okay.
I'm kidding.
Why do you want to pay the salary?
I don't know.
No wonder you're looking a bit down.
I don't like to talk about money.
Are you introducing yourself?
Well, hi guys. It's an exciting time to be alive. Depressing time to be in Nigeria, but exciting time to be alive. If that makes any sense. Welcome to Japa Chronicles.
What's exciting?
The king of Japa.
What's exciting to be? There's no thing exciting about Nigeria at the moment.
Yeah, that's what I said now. It's depressing to be in Nigeria right now. I think for me, I just have been through so much in my life that when things are like very, very down generally, me, I'm just always either optimistic or just seeing. And like right now, everything that happen for Nigeria, I know really
you have money now. I have to.
It's not about that.
I have to reach my next to me. So full price not fake them.
Full price from your mouth to God's ears.
Nice, my brother.
Let him introduce himself.
I think we should introduce him.
Oh yeah, please do me the honor.
Praise him.
We should praise him. Maybe our money will reduce. Right? Hello, boys and girls. With me here is the handsome managing director of Arrow House Studios, where we record, and we're giving them free PR again today. So once we blow, when we don't get millions of listeners, not free.
You should be doing the PR when you've blown now, because now I don't know about the number of views. You need to give us. It's not free PR. It's not free PR on these numbers.
You know how it works now. Like
it's gradual now.
The video will still be there forever. So when we blow, people can still go back to see it.
Yes, now. So we should be getting the free PR every video.
Yeah,
that's nice. All right, so we have Maiwa here. I don't know how else to introduce me.
Let him blow his trumpet.
My own trumpet. Okay. I've known these two guys now for. It's been like 3 months or 6 months.
I've known you since January.
I mean, but in terms of like recording, you guys have been really consistent.
Yeah,
that's very hard to do. So shout out to that.
Shout out to King of Japa.
Yeah,
and I want to collect my props. I know they like the share again.
So you give me shout out.
No.
I put you onto him.
And I put you onto him. You've got him credit.
And I put you onto the name, to the title.
And you've got him
credit. Oh, you gave the name?
I gave him the title now.
IP.
Easily.
IP.
No,
you've got him paid for that, haven't you?
No.
Okay.
I've been paid for that stuff.
Let's not be like Nike. But that woman got compensated, yeah. The lady who did the Nike swoosh logo. So.
But it was nice. I mean, to come here initially and collab with So Nigerian was cool. And I think that this has been in my mind. Sometimes you just don't know that the opportunities are not so far. And I think if anything, in the last year of doing my postgraduate, the commitment that I give to that every day, I've not missed one class. Whether I'm traveling, wherever I'm going, I've not missed one class.
I think you're doing that post right now?
Yeah, okay. I'm finishing in September. So the consistency it takes to do that, the discipline you learn, So when I started this, and I just began to ask questions, ask people, you, Isaac, friends, and everybody's like, the one thing everybody was say, oh, look, this content is good, is the next thing that everybody's doing. I just told myself that every Tuesday, at least twice a month, right? And so it's discipline. I think it's also just having a focus. So yeah.
No, I appreciate that because you've been. 'Cause most people start. Even we sometimes we're tempted. Even we have all this gear surrounding, and it's like, okay, I'll do it this week, and then you can't do it next week. So with the fact that you actually do it every week, like that's amazing.
Yeah.
But the money do cost. So right now, with the money do cost. But I mean, again, like
With
I
the
said,
statement they gave yesterday, now fuel is now 300 naira per liter.
What's it? I know he gave a statement.
He gave a
But like-
press.
I was in church. I wasn't listening.
What did
I
you say
understand.
actually?
No,
Wait, were you being sarcastic or it's actually 300?
No, of course
that's
not.
sarcasm now. Somebody called me Abuja this morning, 617 or something upward.
Bro.
What's your statement going to do? Like right
Words
now,
of
I'm not
encouragement.
sure.
It is word of encouragement.
It's
I think
word
for
of
the last
encouragement.
8 years, we've not had a president.
You know how
actually
someone that will speak to
speaking
us.
to us.
Yeah.
My wife
We
and I
all
talked
spoke
about
on
that.
that.
That's probably the only good side to that. But then the bad deed has been done also by your statement, like from your inauguration
Yeah.
to how you have selected. Again, there's the problem with our democracy right now is that it's not balanced. So there's no bipartisan anything. Even the Labour Party guys that we put there with support and hype without money, they are just messing up because I'm not seeing any of them in the House of Assembly, Rep or Assembly or.
No, but they're like the minority now.
Doesn't matter. Just make
expect-
noise. We don't need you to. We know that you are the minority now. We put all 47 of you there now, so we know you are the minority.
You need like an antagonist.
Just
Yeah.
do something. So you put yourselves there. You put the Senate president there and the House of Reps, the Speaker of House of Rep, and you guys are just misbehaving because the Senate think it's funny that the poor need to breathe.
Bro, that video was. Remember, did you see that video?
Lack of emotional intelligence.
Clear
Zero.
lack.
And I think it's not even just politicians. I just think the older generation,
Yeah, exactly.
they have,
Generally.
generally they have.
You're paid.
Yeah.
You're the highest paid politicians in the world.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like number one.
You're the highest paid politicians in the
World.
world, right? Your people are suffering. The people put you there. Except you want to argue that it's through your rascality you got there. The people put you there, right? Either in their lack of knowledge or lack of education, whatever we want to call it. And then you don't have any emotional intelligence. You're laughing. And you know you're being recorded. So it's not like you don't know. Like, you're laughing. And I don't know how the president sees it, but he doesn't know that everybody's laughing at him. Like, the reason why we say and we joke about it is because he said it. But the reality is that there's a lot, and in fact, you could also say that when he says let the poor breathe, is that a lot of people are actually very poor. And they actually need to breathe, right? But then, like, it's just almost, so again, it's depressing.
Yeah, very condescending.
It's
to
depressing
ask.
right now. So many things. They're trying to screen. I was thinking about that. I was coming here today. They're screening ministers. When last in Nigeria did the Senate reject a minister that was screened? Like, there are ministers that were nominated who have allegations or who have been, what's the word now? They've been written off,
yeah.
like they've done stuff, they've just settled out of court, those kind of things. And you bring them back. The guy that they say is probing CBN has skeletons
in his cupboard.
in his cupboard.
I mean, it's Nigeria, man. Like, anything goes. And that's what
I think it's also like the first time, not just in Nigerian politics, but all around the world, where you have really, really, really old politicians. So you say the one of the American senator that froze midway.
Mitch
Midway,
McConnell,
yeah.
the minority leader.
And then also there's another lady as well who's like 91 years old also.
I think even this
I think
guy,
it's
I
just-
think Biden still has some
Yes.
health issues and all that.
Yeah. So this is probably the first time where, the average age for other leaders around the world is like 50 something, 55. So
Where are we? Probably in our 70s.
who?
Like Nigeria. Like our average age.
He should be
I
like
don't have
70.
the data, but I'm
yes.
sure.
Yes. Because these are the crop of guys that came in after the military era.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's still the ones
and
there
they're still the
today.
ones still today.
Still the ones.
So whenever I come and I plug the SBBG and I tell young people that, look, we've got to go learn and we've got to go into politics. Not everybody is going to be called to do business. Not everybody is going to work in civil service. Not everybody is going to work in a bank.
But do you know why I think that won't work? Just because, so I think with younger people, we like to identify with something.
Okay.
The Nigerian political system has no ideology. Right? So if you're going into an APC, you're just going into APC.
You're just going to a party.
You're going into a party. It doesn't you're not going into something that basically aligns with your own way of thinking, your own life.
You're in APC, I'm in PDP. There's really no
there's no difference between both of us. So until Nigerian political system kind of focuses on ideologies, young people will always just be lost because
But I don't know. I'm just to push back on that. The Labour Party does align with the ideas of the NLC and TUC, so it's clear what Labour Party is.
But we can all
There's now a youth party that has finally won the Supreme Court case, so they'll be allowed to be called the youth party. So I'm not sure that I get that for the APC and PDP and the.
Oh, they're the biggest now. So
yeah, but why are they the biggest though? Because it's not hard to overthrow a government.
Because they're the OGs. They've been there they've been there for a minute. They have the power.
Need a Napoleon.
Somebody came in 7 months and won the election.
Oh, Bitobi.
Yeah,
but he's been
not
there
on paper, so it doesn't count.
I mean,
and he's been there.
You get my point.
He's been there.
It's been Obi's part of the system as well.
He's been part of the system. If I'm being realistic.
So what do you think we need someone that's not part of the system?
No, you need. Well, I don't know, man. I'm not really into politics.
For you to get as big, you need to have been part of this system for a long time.
So which one are we agreeing? Are we agreeing that you be part of the system? I'm talking about politics. Let's segue to something else because I don't know. It's a big problem, and I wonder how you fix such. And
I've also noticed that people that always say young people should go into politics. You're not also into politics. Are you in a party?
No.
Exactly. So I think there's the idea of
he said what's
advising other people. Someone has. If you understand the game, then be the game. So get into the game.
Yes. So
and show everyone else how to do it.
So this is where I also give you some pushback based on what you said. Is that one of the reasons is because I haven't felt comfortable joining APC or PDP. That's the only reason why I haven't gotten a membership card. It's not that I'm not involved.
How about LP?
You don't always have to. I'm not sold on them. You don't always have to be a card-carrying member to be active in politics. So what first step did I do before the election? We saw that there were some candidates. We tried to support them. We raised funds for people. I don't need to be a party member to do any of that, right?
You're involved somehow.
And then right after that, I mean, I've been learning this now for 3 years. Then I go into the SPPG, School of Policy, Politics and Governance, to be able to understand it. When I come out, then I realize whether I want to be I don't know if they call them technocrat, the people that don't work for government or the people that actually are the government. So it's not that I don't want to have a party.
Do you have a course in uni that's politics?
Yeah, political
science.
Anything science.
Political
science.
So you understand why. So it's not that I don't want to. So I joined the APC.
Sorry, the political science, what they taught us was it because I think African politics is also very different from the West policy. Is it the Western ideology?
See, political science in Nigeria is mostly like philosophy. So they're telling you about what Cretu said in
okay, and Socrates and all those guys.
So it's not really effective.
So I mean, it's if you join APC, it seems like you've aligned with the bad people. If you join PDP, it's like you've aligned with the old bad people. And if you join Labour Party, I'm joining a party where I think that they just haven't figured it out. And they also have a lot of these people in their system. So I'm going to wrap up in September and hopefully very soon I make a decision. Because like you said, even if I join, I'm just one person. And when I'm going to do something, anybody that knows me, I do, you want to do anything.
Go out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So by the time I'm joining a party, it's clear that I'm likely raising thousands of people to follow me into that party. That's the kind of person I am. So it's clear.
MLK, let's go.
So let's segue.
I mean, we already spent so much time on intro, so I think we should just get into it.
Yeah, I mean, there was this, what's it called? What's trending now? The Sweden.
The refusal
letter. When I first looked at it now, I didn't even know it was Sweden until I looked at the address.
Oh yeah,
that was highlighted.
Yeah.
Was that real?
It was real.
I've never seen a refusal letter from Schengen like that. Is that what you're on about?
Yeah.
It's always in colons, right? And they have this. It's already it's a template.
How many refusals have you gotten?
well,
A couple. Let's say a couple
I've got one. That was last year.
for Schengen.
No, that was 2 years ago during the COVID.
For Schengen.
Okay.
Schengen, yes.
And they didn't like give a concrete reason.
Oh no, they never give you concrete reasons.
They give you a generic thing.
So it's very like highlighted, and they you can only just ever get into one of those brackets. So they will I mean, if they have no read, they'll tell you it's something unconclusive or you're not showing enough, whatever, something.
It's interesting.
So I was actually going for my friend was getting married in France, no, in Greece, but the Greek embassy during COVID wasn't giving visa unless you were going for like a conference or you're a government person, whatever the case may be. So I figured, let me play smart now. Let me go through France. So I was applying through France. Like France was like France are very kind of, well, not only they're relaxed, but like the most friendly Schengen country. Let me go through France, and then I'll go with my girl, go there for a day, do some kind of cool stuff, and then come back. So I've basically entered the first entry country, come back in, and then use my second entry to go into Greece. But I think it was too bait what I was trying to do. So,
but did you go to France first?
Oh, I didn't end up going now. I got rejected. Yeah. So I think that was where they kind of clocked that.
You didn't know King of Jackpot that time. I don't help you.
Is that something?
How would you help? How?
So usually, for Schengen countries, if you're not going to school, they don't give first-time applicants that do not have a UK or US visa.
Bro, I have both UK, I have a US. I've been to Schengen so many times. I'm just saying I was very surprised I got rejected.
I'm not telling you the first, I mean, this is not content. I'm trying to let people know.
Okay. Let's hear it.
And then the second thing is effectively your itinerary. It has to be believable to them. Because already, whether you are rich or you are poor in Nigeria right now, we don't spoil them.
Yeah.
But okay, second point, I did highlight that everything. I'm gonna go from London, from Nigeria to London, from London to. I did the whole itinerary, highlighted it out. I was extremely shocked, to be honest, because I have a lot of Schengen visa now. But I kind of thought maybe one of my friends was like, maybe because I didn't say what I was going to do in the second country.
That's the itinerary.
I just put I was going to come back Canada. Just kind of highlighted it.
You never, like he said, you can't tell because they just give a generic reason. Just say according to so subsection, something, and they just tell you.
But like
they don't tell too much story.
For Canada, I mean, you can request for what's that thing? GCMS notes. And then they'll give you the exact reason.
Yeah. So GCMS notes is basically a system that the government put in place whereby it's just for transparency. So you apply to Canada, you see basically what the visa officer is saying about your application, why they rejected the person, aside from the generic reasons, or maybe they don't believe that you have the money or that you're going to come back and all that. So UK also does appeal, but Canada's one is much straightforward with the GCMS note because you just order it, it comes in a document, you see it, and you can either fight it or just reapply.
Yeah. I mean, I think for first-time travelers, I guess it would be a bit more scary for them.
Yeah,
because they like have the Virgin passports and
there's more some concerns.
Yeah.
Also, if you don't have, I mean, there are a number of factors, but yeah.
But honestly, I hate visa application because I think also this thing is like almost like borderline unethical as well, in the sense that like they make you pay for everything. Flights are paid for. Hotels are paid for. Sometimes you might even...
If it's school, you probably paid like a tuition deposit.
Yeah, you don't... there's transaction going on.
Yeah.
So if there's transaction going on already and you can see all of that, kind of like then telling me I can't go anymore, it's also like I've lost all my money along the way. Because you need to basically pay for the flight, you need to pay for the hotel bill. Well, if you're doing booking.com, you still need to pay for it because I've also heard that if you just like book it, and you don't pay, they actually call up the hotel to see if you actually paid for it, and that'll be a reason why they reject you as well. So it's like borderline. Why would you take all that money, make me lose, and now pay for the application fee as well? It's like come on, that's kind of messy.
I probably have a different perspective because most embassies will also tell you that don't pay for hotel, don't pay for.
That's not true. They say it in their requirement that paid. Everything will be paid for.
Well, maybe for Schengen, but...
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm talking about Schengen.
Because generally, if you pay for something that you cannot get your money back, the embassy knows you will not get your money back.
For
usually
Schengen, like when you apply and then you get rejected, does the hotel refund?
So if your date of arrival at the hotel is still very far
Yeah,
in the
the
future, you
refund.
can, there's always that opening to get a refund. So they're the only ones that refund, but your flight, you don't get a refund back.
But the flight to stay, you could still use it later on.
But then again, you have to
Apply again.
You have to apply again, and then
Yeah.
like that.
yeah. So it's
I
really
get your
hard.
point on that. Now, my own feedback or my own pushback is also that I think that now we use our hands spoil them, that kind of thing. Like it used to be much easier.
Or like in the 90s.
Exactly. So when everything was open to us, people went there and spot it. So basically, everything we're suffering in Nigeria now is some repercussion of maybe even just say the 90s. Because my dad would always talk about how many Naira Kobo he used to just go to London every week and things like that. And I can't even now if I want to do. In fact, I tried to apply for a visa. Something changed my itinerary. You had to cancel the visa because right now you can't take the risk of spending $100 to apply, $100 something to apply, and then you know that there's a technicality. You can't even be sure that if you tell them that there's a technicality that's changed, that they will not just reject you. I don't understand what I'm saying. So you have to be so thorough right now, and that's because our people have gone there. And a few have succeeded and done well, but then a good number of people have not sports.
So sorry, this takes me back to our argument last week because you were saying that now you're saying now we spoil them, but last week you were more like it's the government's issue.
Yeah, but so you lost that argument last week. I don't
know. But now you're saying it's the people.
So let me again teach you again.
The letter that came from Sweden, they really highlighted that Nigerians do forgery with their documentation, fake bank statements, this, that. I mean, obviously there was only one thing they highlighted that I think is like the government's issue, and that's the whole high risk of insecurity in Nigeria, and that's what's affecting like visa applications for Nigerians to Sweden.
It sounds very much like you have a baby in the house, and then you leave a sharp object on the table, and then you say every other thing. But you forget to admit that you left the sharp object on the table. That's the problem with the government. It's the foundational thing. So two things can be correct.
But you know what? Also as well, if you're applying from the UK as a Nigerian, you always get your visa. You hardly ever get rejected. So in the UK, it's even so like the embassies in the UK are so relaxed that if you even miss a documentation, they call you. Yeah. Here, there's no. It's like, you missed something. Nice. Bounce.
Yeah.
So they make it harder for like Nigerians here.
In Nigeria.
Yeah. Every time I applied abroad, like I always got my visa every single time.
Yeah. So again, it's our government that has not done a good job.
But it's the same government that governs it's not the same Nigerian passport all over the world.
Yeah. So at the back of your mind, understand that when you're living in the UK, the embassy basically believes that this person is in the UK, this person will be a problem. Because when you're in the UK, you're telling them why you're in the UK, why you can apply. Do you understand what I'm saying?
And they'll probably check your records in the UK as well.
So it's much, much simpler when you're out of the country and you are either a resident or you have access to be there than when you are here in Nigeria. And again, I've been saying this on the podcast now, maybe on almost every other episode, where I always say that the big problem here is that when you're here, the embassies cannot verify and validate. They're not so sure that Mayowa says I own this business, I do this. They can't verify. I had the embassy say something like, we try to check your company on CAC, blah, blah, blah. And this is the same CAC that you're probably going to use months trying to figure it out. You hear the server is down for a month and a half. The person that is supposed to activate is not around. Do you understand? So you would have probably made a payment, like you pay for your tax, and then they want to go help check that, this tax thing that they did for you is okay. And when they get to the server, you have the printer, the printout. When they go to the government server, it's not there.
Yeah, I mean, I know back in the day, they used to like, for a lot of visa application, was one-on-one interview. So there was a bit of human interaction that determined.
Yeah, but I think that also was a lot. I think
it was okay.
Was it stressful? I was just saying like
I think
queues then.
Yes, but
I think that's why they sort of just changed everything.
Yes, because that's how I used to get my visas back when I was a bit younger. And my dad would be there, they would speak, and having that human interaction kind of would allow the interviewer to
No,
make a
better.
decision. Yeah. But now everything is just
Digital.
all digital, and they're going by a set of requirement that you must have. And if they're still not convinced, then they just give you a kind
I
of
think these guys
rejection.
should do interviews in
US.
the US.
I was going to say that. And that's why everybody they are denying people. The way the US deny people now is like, I don't want to say it's 9 in 10, but like, if you are not going for business that you paid for, like you were saying for the Greek that like, or you're going to school and they are sure that you have the money, the US they deny. Like right now, it's hard for somebody to go and get accepted. So once customers come, I'm telling them, if you don't have a real business, if it's just holiday, family organization, there's a likelihood they will deny you.
Yeah.
Like even students, they will deny you for another person's mistake. So like if your family member has made a mistake and they see that you can deny you on that person's mistake. So it's gotten a bit difficult generally just because we are Nigerian. That's what I'm trying to tell you, that even though it's the people, right? I said to you last week that the government is also the people, and it's the government that sets the standard that the people adhere to. Do you understand? So if Maiwa goes to the visa officer and shows his tax, shows his bank statement, if the embassy is sure that through this current government system, anything you see is verifiable, like in those 90s days that we're talking about, it's easier. But now they cannot verify anything. In fact, now if you submit bank statements, you either use my bank statement, which is basically what people did to just sort of make their life easy. So like there's a company that created a system that banks and embassies would use.
Plug in. Okay.
Right? That started about maybe now, I don't know if it's up to 2 or 3 years, started around COVID period, right? Or it's not going to be a letter signed and stamped by your bank that they can verify.
Oh yeah, that's why
they will reject it.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Because people, they forge things. How many people do you know? I mean, in the office, I don't know my rules with those kind of people. How many people do we meet in the office who bring forged documents that we will not even know?
Yeah,
right. What documents are they? Like, what's the
bank statements?
Bank statements.
So, like, maybe they get one guy, maybe now inside. I don't know how they do them. Whether or not the person
it's definitely insider. They're 100%.
And I know people that have been banned because maybe the insider, the time where they won't verify, maybe insider mess up or and they ban them 5 years, 10 years. This year I must have worked for 3-4 students that did not know they were banned because they had worked with another agent. Why they look shocked? you know the year of his gist. They didn't know they had worked with another agent.
That's wild, man.
They had been banned. They didn't know until I got their work. In fact, 2 of them we had submitted. Then the embassy replies to say, "Oh, you were banned so and so period. You have to wait for your ban to blah 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 blah."
Oh wow.
One of them was just crying. She didn't know that she had been banned, and she's a banker. This is also the thing about.
Has she applied before?
She had applied and she had gotten rejected, but she didn't know she was banned. So she's used maybe 2 or 3 other agents.
But did they tell you why you've been banned? Are you because you showed a fake?
I love what you just said.
Yeah.
The way you were just curious to just ask. I don't know. Some people just don't ask those questions. They just maybe if the person says you've been banned or you've been denied. They don't have any. They don't do due process to say, okay, can I see the document? Can I see what happened?
That's wild.
So
man.
again, it's a government thing. The government braces up, just like we're driving. We know people are terrible drivers, but like in the UK where you have CCTV and the government and the police officers and the law enforcement rather, they clamp down on stuff. You think Nigerians, since VIO started doing this whole if you beat traffic light you get a text message. How many people beat traffic lights? Next thing now, whether they are vandalizing the traffic lights because some of them are not working anymore. Yeah. But I know too many people. I know a family member who has gotten that text like 2 or 3 times.
Really?
Either you drive that car when the VIS thing has expired, or
they'll text you.
They'll text you. Go and pay your fine, 25k, 40k. So that's actually here. So you see that I said when the government sets the right policy, the people will adhere to what is available. And so then they got, for instance, now, so Buhari successfully did the Niger bridge. And now we are hearing that all the iron on the bridge, they don't steal them. Same thing in this Lagos. And in this Lagos, they will say, no, it's the Northerners. Everyone just likes to blame people. Excuse me, where's your security officers in the night when people are vandalizing and stealing iron and taking it to Ikorodu?
But that's expensive, though. I mean, having to start employing night guards.
No, but this how it's been. Don't you always have patrols and stuff always? Like, if a patrol is in different areas and people are wandering in the middle of the night, you would You get? It's not easy to steal iron and just carry now.
It takes time.
It takes time.
So
And
they have hours.
what the fashion do in his own tenure that Ambody and this current governor has maybe they feel.
So when they study this iron, are they melting it? And
Yeah,
Yes.
they're melting it and they're transforming it to other stuff and
Yes.
they're selling it.
There's a place in I think they call it the Ode in Ikorodu.
Hustlers.
Yes, hustlers.
Yeah, Ode,
Fashola
yeah,
did
iron.
this like a PPP between the private and the government that where the private companies were supporting the security initiative. Lagos was so secure. Now we are complaining that people are stealing iron. In this same Nigeria, me and you know the Yahoo boys. Like they are now in every neighborhood. You are driving through, you see them. You will see police stop them. Me and you can recognize that it's a Yahoo boy. And before you get 10 minutes down, he has come back with the speed of his fine car, blowing music. The guy that police have stopped to, he has settled them. And he will pass you 5-10 minutes later.
You know, like Lagos is like Colombia. Have you ever seen any of this? Mafia? Yeah. But like we move like cartels here,
move
bro.
like cartels
We just don't have a Pablo. We don't have any of those. Well, we
have
do.
a Pablo,
The governors and the guys,
we
but
have
yeah.
a Pablo. We have
Pablo.
Pablos.
We have Pablos, but we're low key living like in a mafia state. Man.
So let me now tell you also something funny. So I mean, at my level, I'm subscribed to magazines and stuff. So this morning I got an email from Times Higher Education. They do the world rankings and stuff. Australia has a problem now.
What's the problem?
In Canberra, they're saying that they get a lot of international students. Like over 50% of the students in that area now are international students. And largely, when your international girls get there, it's prostitution they're going to do there. Nigeria had this problem with Cyprus.
I think Italy as well.
Italy. We had that problem with Canada at some point.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, the only thing that it wasn't loud, and it's not just our nationality. So sometimes it's not just. Sometimes I hear this trickle down because of my offices there that are giving information. Like this morning now, when I read the news, THE didn't talk about the country, but they said international students. Are largely likely African students.
I
right?
doubt, man. There's Colombia, there's Mexico.
Possibly, right?
Yo, those are- they have
Possibly, right?
they have the real
But
baddies.
we knew Cyprus, Italy, and Canada. We had a lot of Nigerians.
I know about the Italy one for
So
sure.
what's my point? I'm trying to tell you that. So these people go there in desperation to leave their home base, and I mean, you know, that some of these countries they legalize sex industries. Like it's not like here that you're still even exactly. So a lot of things are going on, right? And that's really that. People will wonder whether we started. We started to. My wife is just here to talk about a lot of his experiences.
I wanted to ask, how many?
I didn't jackpot and I came back, so it's not actually classified as
I mean,
jackpot.
but
It actually is when you define what jackpot
Well, at the
is.
time, jackpot wasn't a word.
Yes.
I was in just a casual young lad.
Yeah. I
You
think-
schooled in the UK.
Jackpot became a thing because of the, I guess.
Yes.
Everybody moving out.
Yeah,
and
just
not
like,
coming
and you
back.
have a reason why you're like,
You're
yo,
going.
I'm going because I'm frustrated. Mine was like,
Yes.
I'm going for school.
And that's why I tell them that I define Jaguar. I mean, I get what's going on, but the definition of Jaguar is largely it's just immigration, right? And that is that's mankind and immigration.
There's
is,
subgenres of
yes,
of jackpot.
exactly. So you schooled in the UK. You lived where else in Europe? Did you school or leave again?
Oh, I just lived. I lived in Eastern Europe. I was in Serbia for about a year and a half.
yeah.
after-
Was that work, chilling?
It was more of like after uni, I worked for a bit
Okay.
in investment banking, but then
Okay, so let's give us a history. So, what
Okay.
UK? What did you study?
finance and management in uni,
Interesting. What school?
Manchester.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are you a Manchester United fan?
I am, but that's not the reason why.
Please leave my pod. Please.
Real,
please.
see,
Guy,
real recognize real.
this guy.
Real recognize real.
Oh God.
But yeah.
You guys just lost 3 straight matches.
It's friendlies now. It's pre-season.
That's what I said last year.
Doesn't count.
That's what I said last
It
year.
doesn't count.
All right, so
when
Manchester-
Onana, let me not even go into that.
Bro, that guy, man. That guy.
But I like that guy.
I don't like him, man.
You don't like him. All right, but let's not segue. So Manchester. Do you ever watch any match of Old Trafford?
Oh yeah, of course.
That's nice.
Yeah, my first ever.
Humble background, my one.
No. Someone was like, someone could have given me the ticket. You don't know.
Yeah. But
My-
I'm trying to do that this October, man. I'm trying to do
Yeah,
that.
it's a-
I have
it's a
I have a
nice-
match circled on my calendar.
it's a nice
Arsenal
feeling.
Chelsea. I'm trusting God.
My first ever game actually was at Stamford Bridge. Yeah,
You know your real roots.
No,
Against-
it was an
against
FA Cup.
United.
It was an FA Cup game. Liverpool, Chelsea.
Chelsea, okay.
I had a friend in A levels in college. He was like a Russian rich boy. It's like dad had title like Abramovich, so he had two seats
in the suite.
Yes, for Chelsea, and it was for him and his dad. So his dad is never in London. So and we became like buddies. So one day I was like, "Hey, Mayo, what are you doing this weekend?" I'm like, "Nothing. You want to go to Chelsea game with me?" I was like, "Yeah." I'm like, only under one condition. I had to put on the Chelsea jersey. I'm like, "Yeah, fuck that. Hell yeah." I've never seen the game before.
What years? I
can't remember. Actually, I know at the end of the game, Liverpool. I think Liverpool won.
Sure.
I can't remember. I know Anelka was on the team. Drogba was on the
years ago.
Yeah, Sturridge was still in Liverpool at the time.
No, must have won because we were always winning.
But then after the game, I went outside. I went outside of, when you go out, like the fans, where you're like waiting for like the players to come out from the car park. And I saw Mikel Obi, and this guy looked so tall. Like that guy is a giant of a man. It's actually not. I mean, you went them on TV. They look. I mean, you can tell they're tall, but like these guys were like tall and big. I saw Ballack. I saw.
Ballack?
Yeah, I think was Ballack there already? Yeah, I think I saw Ballack.
That was years ago, man.
Yeah.
Was it the final?
No. It was like in quarterfinals or something.
Let me see. Anyway. All right. So finance. So after school, what did you do?
Did my masters also in management and finance as well. Went to Cranfield.
Okay.
Did that there. And then after that I worked for a bit, and when you just want to take a break from work. I went to Eastern Europe. I was in Serbia. I was there for a year, and that was actually where a lot of like my own passion, like what I actually like to do, I started to like kind of find myself. So I was there for like a year and a half, and then the guy who worked on this studio was from there.
Nigerian?
No, that's like the acoustic engineer. They helped us with this studio. I met him there.
So as you heard it here first, our house was birthed in Serbia.
Yeah. That's what the idea.
So what were you doing for a year? Were you working?
Oh, this was during COVID. Oh yeah. So it was during COVID. So that was the reason why.
It's not complete, but me and I know. Okay, go on. Because you cannot just stay in Belgrade for.
You can now with a UK.
No. I mean, like, what were you doing when you were not bored?
Oh, first of all, like I have a friend that lives there. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I have a friend that was for masters. I had a friend that I met.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we just I'll come to Serbia. Like cool.
That's
so I was just there.
Okay, go on.
It's just surprising. You're just chilling for 1 year, like.
No, I was not chilling. I was working now.
Okay.
So you're working, and allowed me to like see Eastern Europe. So I went to like Montenegro, Croatia.
So tell us about those places. What's the experience been like?
I was in Croatia again, like recently. So that's
let us know.
You didn't inform us, but it's fine.
No
chocolates, nothing. You didn't bring working.
Not even Dynamos are great.
In this Tinubu's economy, I was managing my naira. I beg.
Okay, so what's it like in those areas?
So first of all, it's a very small country. So the total number of people in like the whole of the Yugoslavia is about, let's say, give or take 20-30 million. So that's how big Lagos is. So Serbia by themselves are like 5 million. Bosnia is like 3 to 4 million. Croatia is like 2 million. Montenegro is even like small. Yeah.
I'm dying to ask, what's racism like?
So funny enough, man.
I know some parts of Europe is not so bad.
Funny enough, like there's a big jungle fever out there. And when I mean jungle fever, it's like they're just happy to see you.
I remember that film. She's got
So it's like rare to see like black people there.
Yeah, it's very rare to see. I'm a married man now, but like, it was a madness. Like it was actually just a madness. Like, because so that you kind of realize that there's a big influence of hip hop culture in that region. Like a lot of them grew up on hip hop, the younger people, and they want to associate themselves. Like people find black people as really cool type stuff. So like the media kind of sends this message out like, oh, racism. I mean, there will be. There's racism everywhere in the world.
Yeah, even when
So there's not been any direct situation with you? Like,
there wasn't any direct. Everyone was like really
all your
nice.
time in Europe?
Yeah, all my time. on my time. I think also like again, as a kid, maybe when I was 16, 17, I didn't know what racism was as well.
Yeah.
So it took me a while to kind of, maybe when I was younger, someone was being racist to me and I probably did not clock the person was being racist. But as you get older, because you're hearing the conversation more and more, you're aware of your color. I mean, sometimes at night when I was in England, if I'm walking down the street and I see a white person coming, I purposely would make a decision to cross. Oh, no, not come. If I'm walking behind them, I will make my own conscious decision just to go to the left because I'm
So
like,
don't be like, oh, you're
I don't want you to feel like,
Yeah.
and that again, even though I shouldn't do that, it's just because of what has been on the
what's
news,
in news here?
blah, 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 blah. Things like that. So that was also like, I don't know, is it racial bias? Like I was being biased to myself.
Because speaking about that situation, I just remember there was this video that was trending, I think last year or 2 years ago. Guardiola was walking down the street, or I think he was riding a bicycle. No, he was walking down the street. Then like a black guy was riding the bicycle and pursuing him to like get a picture. And then Guardiola started running. So like when Guardiola eventually stopped, the guy was not explaining, like, no, I'm not trying to rob you. I'm just trying to take a picture. But it now felt like, because he's black, Guardiola just assumed that he was trying to rob him. And he started running. Like he literally started running. So
it's sad though. It's sad. What will you say about Europe in general? Like, so Eastern Europe, what will you say about the experiences? Particularly, you lived in the UK, which is, a major powerhouse.
So I'll say Eastern Europe is very similar to Nigeria.
Really?
Yeah, culture-wise.
Huh.
Yeah, very culturally like similar in terms of like how we respect family values. Is very, very similar. And then also in terms of like finances, it's also very similar. They're really poor. I won't say really poor, but I'll say
they're not
they're not the UK, they're not Germany. And you have a lot of their people also migrating to those countries. So they also have a massive issue right now when it comes to like workers, because every skilled person is trying to leave. And it all started during COVID. So a lot of people are trying to like just leave because they're very skilled. So they're also having that issue as well. And then there's that age, I think it's going to happen in Nigeria, but not now. But it's also like that average age is also like getting higher and higher. So older guys are not retiring earlier because there's not just younger people to work. Yeah. Well, like they're probably one of the smartest people you would ever meet. So I know Australia, for example, has a lot of.
You miss Australia?
No, I haven't. But I know a lot of Australians, like they used to come like down there. But a lot of Australians, again, when I have conversation with people there, they're like, oh yeah, Australia kind of, so during their Yugoslavian war, America benefited from like migration. Canada benefited from migration. Australia also benefited from like migration as well because of the war. There was like this massive war they had, almost like similar to like Nigerian civil war. So
that's how
like back in the 90s. Scattered. Yeah, that's how they scattered.
So like Montenegro before.
Yeah, so like the Yugoslav used to be like number one strongest passport back in like in the 1890s. They were like they were on the same par as like the US. Even the race to the moon. They were involved in that as well. Like they had like the economy. I mean, it was a socialist economy. Yeah, socialist economy. I think it was the Soviet Union era as well. So like very, very smart, intelligent people. Like a lot of like tech stuff also like started from there. But obviously because of capitalism.
Yeah, because I'm flashing back to a lot of the James Bond movies and all that. They used to really feature in all these science.
Yes.
Their scientists, their professors, all those things.
Very smart bunch.
That's interesting.
And then they have very beautiful ladies as well. I just have to add that. Stop you off.
I will be there. I will be there.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, like, what was it always your plan to study and then come back?
Not exactly. So funny enough, if you meet a lot of people like around my age now that have been there since they were like 16, I went when I was 16. A lot of them are trying to come back. Really? Or yeah. Because the thing is, it's always like it's like when you're outside, I mean, in Europe, and you're looking back into Nigeria. You kind of understand the system. And then you realize that, the system is capped. Like there's only how high.
Yeah.
There's people that kind of break the ceiling, but that's like one out of how many people.
So it's like you will just forever be like average.
Yeah. Not like forever be average, but if you've come from a country where, I can have 3 cars. I can have a big house. My parents paid for me to go to university abroad with Naira, pay for my brother, pay for my sister. You're like, there's money to be made back home. There's money to be made. So a lot of them are like trying to come back or, okay, losing one eye to look at what's happening in Nigeria. Because what I believe as well is that like between now and before I turn 40, the next decade, what happened in the 90s where people that stayed and persevered through the struggle are the ones that kind of benefit from the system because you understand, you try things, you fail, you try, so you kind of grow with the system and eventually something will start come out of it. Yes. And then you're in the system, you're able to like, and Nigeria is very the kind of place where because it's so lawless, you're able to like get away. I mean, now they're trying to like put things in place, but you can easily
people
try things and
you can bypass.
That's the word.
And that's something.
So a lot of people are like, they're not looking to come back right now, but they have that eye like, okay, what's happening back home?
I met someone last year. He was in the US. So funny enough, my friend and I were chilling like in some lounge and like we're having this debate because me I'm pro Jackpot and him's like, oh, he's staying here in Nigeria, has nothing to do abroad and all that. So this guy he was just sitting on the next table and then just came and was like, oh, I'm sorry for tripping into your conversation, but I just moved in from the US like 2 months ago and I'm not going back. And he's like, the truth is, here in Nigeria, like, maybe one conversation away from being a billionaire. You cannot go to one club and you meet Sheikh Tinubu and he likes you and bro, one contract has hit you. But there's process. And like there's a system that most likely, like you said, is capped for you immigrants. So I mean, it's not. So I get what you're saying.
It's interesting this conversation because I'm scared because what happens to Nigeria in your opinion? Like when do we get to that place where these people are? Is it just because it's our fatherland? Like, what happens to Nigeria if things actually gets better? Do we then become the UK and US? Where, do you understand what I'm saying? So like right now, we go there and we feel like there's just this ceiling you can right after that there's nothing for you, right? But here, because again, it may give credence to lawlessness, lack of development. What happens when we are developed? And there are laws in place. Then we're like them. Because they're already trying to even do some of those things. Student loans and all that. So before you know it, just like abroad, parents don't pay. Students have to go
credit,
to loans.
All the credit system.
And all that. Yeah. What happens? What do you think happens?
I think the economy gets better. The middle class. Because without a middle class, you can't make money. Because you need people to actually spend.
Yeah, fucked.
So no matter how good your idea is right now in Nigeria, or no matter how amazing you have a product and it's built on quality, when you get to the market, the average person is very price sensitive, regardless. So they only care about who can give them the cheapest price. So if you have like a sport brand idea, or you have like a lingerie idea, or you have anything that's just
like elite. So it seems like the elites can only the elites can get that.
But it should actually be affordable for everybody. So you need a thriving middle class. So in the UK, for example, if you work in McDonald's, you can still buy a nice Nike trainer. You can still go to the gym. You can still do normal.
You can't do that here.
You can't do that here. It's just for.
I know that.
Yes.
I just paid. You can't. And I'm not sure after this payment they'll see me again.
Yeah. So that's the reason why. I think you also need a lot of credit system in Nigeria as well.
That's
interesting.
Because
Europe that's what they believe on a credit system.
Yeah. Because now I'm tempted to go figure out what China did. Because China have more people. They don't have as much resources.
Manufacturing now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's manufacturing.
Is that what we like? I'm just trying to think of what do we do to balance that without credit. Because I don't like credit. Credit is a problem.
So for you to also like get people out of poverty as well is
production. So Peter Obi wasn't lying.
No, so if you in Germany, for example, I can't remember what city it is where all they do there is just make cars.
Yeah.
They're working for all of them are working for BMW or they are working for Mercedes.
My money's on Frankfurt.
I don't know what state it is, but as soon as you're born. Like you're not even going to school. Yes. So like you're going into like a program where you're just being taught how to like make cars. And then if you have an additional skill, they'll help you with those kind of stuff. So in Nigeria, like your carpenter should not just be thinking about knocking wood. He should be a designer. You know how to use software.
Yeah.
You know,
Because
like
what is evolving? And
what
you
is
need to be on that
evolving.
level
So if
too.
the moment he's able to like do all those things, he can now try and figure, how can I make a product that can actually become like I care. I can sell it to Ghana, I can sell it to all the other countries. But if you don't have that kind of selling place, it's nothing gonna move.
Interesting.
So I mean, infrastructure is what we need for us to be able to move a needle. Without infrastructure, it's not gonna happen. But manufacturing is very, very important. And then especially now where importing is so expensive, this should automatically open up that manufacturing. Because we have the most, I guess, very young population. We're not as big as China. I mean, what China has done, I don't know if it can be replicated anywhere else, maybe apart from India. Just because of you need to mix tech and a very good policy. So China kind of opened up their borders to the US. And, we're ready to do business, man. Pay my guys $1 an hour. We don't care. Because your $1 here is so your $1 here is like whatever, it's like to 1K. So it changes the conversation. So your FDI is coming in. Yeah. So
you need FDI is key, man. FDI is key.
Do you know how much money is in the world?
I know it's funny when
you have to pay Mbappe 1 billion. I think there's no cheese. There's cheese,
bro. Crazy money. I think 1 million per week.
Bro, there's cheese, man. There's bread.
Village and all his friends are praying for him to accept that.
No, I don't think.
Will he touch them? Do you think he will?
No, when he was around for the summer, like I think guys ate now. Like he was sharing money around. So
fair enough.
Yeah.
So that's also what's even driving Nigeria economy right now. Just that diaspora money coming in.
That diaspora money, man, is in millions of dollars. It's in millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So if I'm interested in going to Europe as a tourist, okay, not like you where we spend.
Do not go to the UK.
Okay.
UK is not a tourist destination.
Okay.
I mean, they have places on.
Nah, you want to go to.
So how do we immerse ourselves?
You want to go to Spain.
Yeah.
You want to go to.
I had plans for Spain.
You want to go to Spain. The weather is nice. UK is always raining.
Money because I wanted to go to Spain.
Where else you want to go to? You want to go to
Italy.
Go to Mexico. Yeah, Italy as well. Greece is nice. Mexico is nice.
Mexico is not safe. Everybody's
no. There's always like a tourist, all these unsafe countries. Like when you come to Lagos, you stay on the island.
They don't come to the mainland.
They'll just tell you do not cross.
So like
that bridge.
3 weeks ago, I had that Spotify thing that we had. So the guys came from SA and like Zimbabwe and something.
That's why they were on the island. Now we're in island.
Bro, there was heavy military presence. Not even police. Because of some guys from SA.
I think that thing is even overplayed, man.
Bro.
It's so annoying.
So I told the guy that, I stay on the mainland. And he's like, you heard about the mainland? Like, that's like the ghetto. I'm like, bro.
Nah, chill now.
Come on,
this pod is made on the mainland, baby. Arrow House Studios, baby.
This is the mainland.
What business opportunities though will you say are there? Because we've got to wrap up now. But what business opportunities will you say exist in Europe? Just off the top of your head.
I would say, first of all, if you're going to school, before I answer that question directly, I personally would go to either Canada or the UK or the US.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go to the UK just because of this is just my own opinion as someone has experienced the system. I think also for like employability as well, you can always, because that's all I think about, you can always get a job much quicker in the UK because it's so big.
Yeah.
And you have all the multinational companies are there.
We have a running joke where we say that the US is Real Madrid, Canada is Man City. You want to know who is UK?
Brentford.
No, Man U.
Man U.
Because it's seasonal, but the UK has been relevant for so long. Still relevant, but not just the hot like Man U in the 90s.
I mean, the UK is a service. The UK is kind of just thrives off a service economy.
Yes.
That's all they do. They don't service, like they'll have like accounting companies. They'll have, but they don't.
Like the Glazers have
insurance. They'll have all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But in the US, for example, you can go work for a family business that's been there since like a team of 50, but they're still paying you heavy, man, because they're still doing a lot of
Real Madrid.
Yeah, so that's basically. And then to answer your question directly, business.
Yeah. Wine. Because you said Spain. I don't know what people are doing in those areas, but everybody just talks about wine.
Yeah, wine and cheese.
Whether it's alcoholic wine or non-alcoholic wine, that thing seems to be. I don't know. Is it the movies? All the haciendas, they have like this farming and all this.
I mean, they have the weather they have all those nice mountains and all that stuff. But business-wise, what can you do? unless you start manufacturing chocolates and selling it to Switzerland. But man, I think Nigeria is still very like import driven. So if you're gonna if you go to the Chinese fair and you find
But if I would ask you though, do you think that it's possible to get investment from there here? Because
100%.
we have so much potential. What countries will you be looking at? Like places where you can actually go and see companies that have an eye on Africa. Aside from China.
So the US is already doing it already. They're doing that massively. And then you also have Amsterdam. I've been to a lot of conferences in Lagos where guys from Amsterdam are they called the Netherlands rather are coming to Nigeria, and they're trying to not miss out on this wave of like, again, I think also I even think the tech, I don't even want to go into this right now. I also think like the tech industry now, the cabal are trying to like keep all of these things to themselves. Like it's like if you're not in that brotherhood, you don't know what's happening. You just see it on Instagram. Oh, ChatGPT guy was here. What? When did that happen? I mean, there's always business opportunities, man. Like you just need to figure out what you're trying to do.
Keep your eyes open.
Yeah, man. Keep your eyes open, man. Because like my dad always says, wealth changes hands. Always. It's always changing hands.
I think one more question for me. I mean, you've been to different countries, so how have you been able to adapt to culture and like have you found it easy? Because people talk about not even just culture, environment. People talk about they're lonely here, this, that. So how's that been for you?
Honestly, I've never struggled with adapting to like my new environment. I feel like I'm a kind of chameleon, kind of. And I think one thing that kind of helped me as well a lot, honestly, was sports. I used to play football a lot. So whenever I go into whether it was a new city, I'll go and look for where the boys are. So that was how I would always settle in first, make the first friends I would make.
That's nice.
And then naturally, like it just goes to like that. And I get, that's how for me, that's always worked. Just using sport as a way of just like understanding my terrain. You can ball. Okay. It's like boys will be boys anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the same.
That's nice. I mean, it's been an interesting. We didn't get to hype our Super Falcons as
shout out to Super Falcons.
They've impressed us. And then our Zikuku from last night, our Nigerian politician. Do you have an opinion on that?
What happened?
So a Nigerian politician's daughter came to talk about like her lifestyle with money, like how
anonymous interview.
I know, so nobody knows who the man is, but like she talked about how like
she said she has trust fund. She get trust fund with the come up when she in 2 years.
I had a friend when I was in the UK. No. I have a friend. It could be you. It could be you. It could be the camera guys.
And my father never went into politics.
And his dad only was in the is it House of Senate or House of Rep for Osun State, for just one of those small counties, and every day he was getting transferred like 10 grand pounds, and that's just every day, and that was just him.
All right.
That was just him. So that was just Osun State. That's just Osun State.
The story could be real.
That was just Osun State.
Nobody. I never doubted that. When I read that story, I never doubted.
I doubt that Sweden.
Let me tell you,
I doubt that Sweden because we didn't really get to good. You didn't get into it much. That Sweden rejection. That was it seemed too long, but we will never be able to.
Well, it could be like their own GCMS notes.
No, but it's Schengen.
Schengen. We don't know.
They don't have that.
They don't do all that. But we never
same template for everybody.
We didn't get to talk about Nigeria spend on Schengen. We'll touch on that later, but we've got to release Maiwa now.
Shout out Arrow House Studios. Gang
don't
shit.
Give yourself PR on our podcast.
It was nice. It was really insightful having Maiwa here. Our House Studios are available for you guys. I mean, you should tell them all you guys do.
We do everything. Come through.
Yeah.
We shoot, we edit. The team will get you comfy.
Yeah.
We don't give tea or coffee.
Yeah,
we're working on it.
You said you're working on it.
We get a price reduction with this free PR we are giving them a King of Jaqua
discount.
If we get like referral guys that say I was referred by Jaqua gang,
let's do it now.
It's happening.
Let's do this.
Then it's happening.
It was awesome. Awesome having Maiwa on the pod.
Yeah, same here, man.
We hope to have you again.
Yep. Okay.
Well, you want to say something?
How many languages can you speak?
Aha,
good question. I can speak I can speak a little bit of Serbian.
Okay.
English, obviously.
Yoruba?
My Yoruba is like not fluent.
Thank you, Maiwa, for coming.
Thank you very much, guys. It's lovely being on the pod.
Yeah.
We shall do
Enjoy.
this again.
Bye.
Peace
Bye.
and love.